Hello, my dear students of class 9. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to start with a new chapter 3, tissue. We will be discussing half part of the plant tissue in this topic. Now, before we come to tissue, we all have an idea that for doing any work, if we do single-handed, if a particular work is done by only one person, then it takes a long time to complete the work and very little work is also done. But the same work, if it is done by a team or if it is done by a group of members, if the work is done by a team, if it is a teamwork, then we can see that the same work can be done in a very short time, or the work which is done, it is done very perfectly and it becomes easy for the function or for the work to be done. Same thing, children, in our body. Our body is made of group of cells. Many cells are there because we are multicellular organisms. We have many cells, building blocks, many cells in our body, and every cells formed a group. There is a group of similar cells in our body which performs a specific function. And the reason you have understood why: to get done any work in a very short time and very perfectly. So tissue is that. Tissue is the name of that group. So tissue is a group of similar cells performing a specific functions. Tissue is an integrated group of cells with a common structure and function. Yes, you will see in a tissue, the cell that makes up a tissue, they are similar in structure as well as similar in function. Okay, now here you see the relationship. We all know our fundamental unit of our body is the cell. So you see here the cells, a group of similar cells, a group of similar structure and similar function cells, they group together and they make up the tissue. Okay, now many tissues together make up an organ. In the picture you can see. Now different organ, they combine together, they start working in a coordinate manner and they form an organ system. And many organ system in a particular body make an organism. Like in our body, children, we have many organ system. Like we have digestive system as shown in the picture. We have this respiratory system. In the respiratory system also we can see one cell there. Similar cells, this similar type of cells which are same in structure and function, they group together and they formed a group called tissues. Now tissues, they group together and they form an organ. Now many different organ, they start functioning in a coordinate manner. Okay, they start functioning in a coordinate manner and they make up an organ system. Now many organ system in a body make us a organism. Like, see, we have digestive system, we have respiratory system, we have circulatory system. See, in the picture also we can see circulatory system. We all know that in an organ system, all the organs work in full control and coordination. That we have already done in class 8, right? In control and coordination chapter, that all the organs in our body, in an organism, in our body, in organ system, they are working in a control and coordinate manner. Now life processes. What is life processes? You know, life processes are those processes that a living beings need to carry out in their life in order to live. Yes, life processes are such processes which a living beings need to carry out to survive on this earth. Processes like respiration, transportation, excretion. I mean to say, see, every living organism take in food. Every living organism respire, excrete, respond, reproduce, grow, and they follow a definite life cycle. This all processes are called life processes. These are essential processes which must be carried out by one living being in order to live, in order to survive. And these life processes are done by the organ system. Like respiration is done by respiratory system, nutrition is done by digestive system, and we all know these systems are made of what? Organs are made of tissues are made of cells. So this is the relation, my dear children. Next, both plants and animals are made up of tissues, but not unicellular organism. Remember, unicellular organisms are made of only single cell. So single cell cannot make up a tissue, right? Because tissue is a group of similar cells. Many similar cells group together and make up a tissue. Okay, so both plants and animals are made up of tissues, and so as the human. We find tissues in human body also. Now let us come to plant tissue. Plant tissues. In the picture you can see plant tissues. Plant tissues are broadly divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Let me first tell you, meristematic tissue is a dividing tissue. See, meristematic and permanent both are tissues. It means both meristematic and permanent tissues are made of cells. Cells of meristematic tissue actively divide. Yes, cells of meristematic tissues undergoes active cell division, but cells of permanent tissues do not undergo any cell division. Okay, they are mostly dead cells, or few are living cells, but they do not divide. They lose the ability to divide, cells of permanent tissue. Today we will only discuss about meristematic tissue. Now see, look at the picture, the cells of the meristematic tissue, how they are shaped. They are shaped in rectangular, sometime polygonal, or sometime round or oval. Like this they are shaped. Okay. Now look at the cytoplasm of the cells. They are a huge cytoplasm, means abundant, adequate cytoplasm is there. Then they are very compact. Can you see, the cells are very compact. There is no intercellular space. You know what is intercellular space? Intercellular space means the space in between the cells. Can you find any space in between the cells of meristematic tissue? No, we can't find any space in between the cells of the meristematic tissue in the picture, right? So they have no intercellular space. Next, look at the nucleus. Yes, the nucleus are very large, lying in the cytoplasm, and they are present mostly at the center of the cell. See, all the cells are having nucleus at the center. Okay. Next, these cells do not contain any vacuoles. Like we all know, plant cells have very large vacuoles, right? But in this case, in meristematic tissue, we see it is a plant cell, but they hardly contain any vacuoles. Even if they contains any vacuoles, then it is very few and small. Okay. Next, look at the cell wall. Look at the cell wall of the cell. It is very thin, very thin. They have very thin cell wall which is made of cellulose. So these are the characteristics of the cells of meristematic tissue. And yes, remember, these cells actively divide. These all cells which you can see in the picture, these cells, they actively undergoes cell division. Here also you can see the TS and LS, transverse view and longitudinal section view of meristematic tissue. Next, we come to types of meristematic tissue. Very interesting. When we talk about types of meristematic tissue, we also talk about the location. Means why? Depending on the location, meristematic tissues are of three types. They are apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Now I told you cells of meristematic tissue actively divides. Okay, actively, cells of meristematic tissues undergoes active cell division. So here we can say these cells participates growth of the plant. Yes, these cells helps the plant to grow in height as well as in width. Okay, this cell, meristematic tissue helps the plant to grow in height as well as in width. Now look at the picture, children. The meristematic tissue which are present at the tip of the shoot, okay, at the apex of the shoot or tip of the shoot, it is called apical meristem because it is present at the apex of the shoot or at the tip of the shoot. Now there is a meristematic tissue which are present at the nodes and internodes. You can see in the picture, they are called intercalary meristem. And the meristematic tissue which are present laterally in the stem of the plant, laterally on the stem of the plant, they are called lateral meristem. Now let me clear out the function of apical meristem. It is very clear to you, right? You can understand the function of apical meristem means the apical meristem, cells of apical meristem are dividing continuously, actively they are dividing, and thus it is helping the plant to grow in height. Intercalary meristem cells of intercalary meristem at the nodes and internodes, they are undergoing cell division, active cell division, and it is helping the plant to grow at nodes and internodes, helps the plant stem, growth of the stem, then leaves, buds, flowers, like that. Now lateral meristem, you can see where it is present. It is present laterally along the stem of the plant, isn't it? So it is helping the plant to grow in width. We all know, see in this picture, starting from the seedling till the big plant, and there is another picture also, you can see how it is growing, how the plant is growing. In this picture you can see the plant is not only growing in height, but it is also growing in breadth, means it also growing in width. So plant shows two movement. It is growing in length also, means it is growing in height also, and it is growing in width also, in breadth. So it is clear that apical meristem helping the plant to grow in height, in length, and the lateral meristem, the meristem which is present along the laterally along the shoot, which is also known as cambium. Yes, lateral meristem is also known as cambium. They are helping the plant to grow in width. Okay, clear? Next, here you see plants not only growing from the shoot, plants also growing from the root. Yes, the root of the plant also growing, isn't it? So we find apical meristem at the tip of the root also. In the picture it is very clear to you, you can see there at the tip of the root also we find apical meristem, because root of the plant also grows, isn't it? Next, we come to the functions of meristematic tissue. So the primary function of meristematic tissue is to help the plant to grow in length, or it brings vertical growth in plant, means it helps the plant to grow up towards the sun and also down into the soil in case of root, as in case of root. Now secondary, the meristematic tissue helps the plant also to grow in girth, or in lateral growth, or in width, means growth of its stems, branches and roots. So this is all about meristematic tissue. Hope you all have understood today up to this. Thank you.